The Legend of Zelda and power metal go together like white on rice. I mean, of course I'd say that, since I think power metal goes with most things in life, but you're in luck, my friends. You've found the Master Sword. Let's dive right in. When you're a musician and you want to anchor your songs around the style and themes of your favorite video games, there are a handful of different ways to go about it. One way is to do direct covers of music from those games, as Stimage does in his Metroid Metal project. Another way is to base your band's musical aesthetic around the atmosphere of a specific game, like the Axis of Perdition did, where the aesthetics and atmospheres of the Silent Hill series informed every inch of the band's soundscape. You also have a band like Machine Supremacy, who anchored their unique sound around the use of the SID sound chip alongside their traditional band setup. Master Sword opt for the third way, which sees them devoting this project entirely to The Legend of Zelda, with every song being about something from the Zelda mythos. And when I say that power metal is the perfect style to take on Zelda, I mean it on the level of what certain genres intend to make you feel. Without trying to parse out the complicated Zelda timeline, whether it's a branching multiverse like Nintendo says, or if it's all different tellings of the same myth like some fans think, if we distill the world of Zelda down to its firmament, you're left with an epic tale of kingdoms besieged by ancient evil, of heroes rising up from humble beginnings to take up the task of fighting to save the only world they know. Granted, Majora's Mask doesn't really fit that description, instead being a moody, dark, apocalyptic nightmare of a narrative. And hey, there does happen to be a Canadian death metal band who made a 13-minute song about Majora's Mask, so, metal's got you covered. Metal finds a way. But Master Sword takes on these themes and feelings with a style fit for it like a glove. Powerful melodies and soaring vocals are the order of the day, branching out with a musical adventurism fit for Hyrule. And don't get me wrong, power metal is capable of so much more than just epic tales of heroism and courage. Depending on the band, the album, and the song, it can be elegant and moody, skull-crushingly aggressive, cinematic and dramatic, or most of those things at once. But the takeaway here is that Master Sword plays perfectly to one of the genre's strengths, so we shouldn't be too surprised that Master Sword is such a musical success. Now on that note, the wide world of melodic metal has no shortage of exceptional singers, but Master Sword's frontwoman Lily Hoy has really stepped up her game on this album. The past decade or so has seen an outpouring of fantastic female vocalists playing power metal from the US, like Nina Osgueda from A Sound of Thunder, I'm so sorry if I butchered your last name, Heather Michelle Smith from Grave Shadow, Adrienne Cohen from Seven Spires, and so many more. And yes, that is a stealth plug for all those bands if you like Master Sword. Hoy put out a capable performance on their first album, Shadow and Steel, but here on The Final Door, Hoy's really come into that league of vocalists who just crush the song and totally make it their own. Her tone and timbre control have become downright masterful as she bellows, wails, and storms her way through these songs. She's taken up a truly commanding presence, and the first two real songs after the intro, The Final Door and Hero of Time, are great examples. As songs, they're also a perfect way to usher you into the album, flowing with energy and enthusiasm in the performances. And these lyrics provide such a solid palette for her to chew through. For example, A Bloody History takes on the well in Kakariko Village and the cruel deeds committed within. She snarls and gnashes her way through these lyrics like the tortured souls of the dead. Incidentally, A Bloody History showcases a more darkly cinematic side to the band, ushering us in with ominous synths and oppressive chugging before Hoy narrates this tale of horror and torture. That track gives way to Forgotten in Stone, which takes the cinematic mindset of the previous song and runs with it even farther, weaving for us a bittersweet tale of Link being set to sleep prior to the events of Breath of the Wild. The soundscape that this track creates, at once wistful, dramatic, and desperate, tells me that this band has such a bright future. They have so much potential left to realize, and they're the kind of ambitious creators that will only go up from here. Now, The Final Door is a bit of a shorter offering than the first album. When you don't count the intro, which just kind of happens and is over in a minute, you're looking at 7 new songs, though The Forsaken Tribe was previously released as a digital single. Don't take that the wrong way though, because The Final Door feels precisely as long as it needs to be. And even though it was originally presented to fans as a standalone track, The Forsaken Tribe turned out to be one of my favorites on the album. The spirited melodies and hooks land just as strongly as anything else on the album, and even though it's considered a bonus track and I don't think it was recorded in the same sessions, I couldn't really imagine The Final Door without it. The album is produced wonderfully. The guitars have a certain warmth to them, and everything feels balanced nicely. While I'm not the most knowledgeable about these technical details, the album has a very full-bodied sound to it. If you listen closely, you might just hear the occasional melody reminiscent of the scores from the Zelda series itself. Granted, the previous album had a full-blown metal cover of the Hyrule Field theme, so the band is no stranger to that sort of glorious fan service, but The Final Door is all about taking these themes familiar to fans of the Zelda series and pairing them with great original compositions that should make you very happy if you have any love for melodic metal, whether or not you happen to be familiar with the Zelda series. But if you are a fan of the Zelda series and you are a fan of this kind of music, then you've really got no excuse to sleep on this album unless you're spending 7 years asleep in the Temple of Time right now. I left a link to Master Sword's Bandcamp in the description below, so go and check it out. And fun lyrical themes aside, speaking strictly musically, this is a band with a bright future and they've got my support all the way. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.